Most people spend 30 plus years laser focused on one thing, that magic number in their retirement accounts. They obsess over whether they have 500,000, a million, 2 million saved up, but the research might change your view. That number, it's rarely what determines whether you'll love your retirement or regret it. Hi, I'm Kurt, a certified financial planner and the founder of Root Wealth Management. And on this channel, I help people align their money and their meaning. And today, I'm going to share something that might completely change how you're currently thinking about retirement. Because what people think will make them happy in retirement and what actually makes them happy, those are two very different things. And understanding this gap could be the difference between a retirement that feels meaningful and one that feels empty, no matter how much you saved. Let's start with a story. I recently met with a couple, let's call them Jim and Sarah. Jim had just turned 64 and he'd been planning for retirement for decades. He showed me a spreadsheet, and I mean, this thing was really detailed. He knew exactly how much he would need down to the dollar. He'd run Monte Carlo simulations, stress tested his portfolio, calculated his safe withdrawal rate. This guy really done his homework. But when I asked him, Jim, what are you gonna do in retirement? He just stared at me. Well, I'll figure that out once I have enough, is exactly what he said. Because here's the problem. Jim's not alone. According to a 2024 MassMutual retirement happiness study, 64% of pre-retirees focused almost exclusively on the financial side of retirement planning. They're asking, how much do I need? Instead of asking, what will I retire to? And look, I get it. You wouldn't want to work with a doctor that doesn't consider your whole health, so why work with a financial advisor who only looks at your balance sheet? But for some reason, even financial planners like me have been conditioned by the financial industry to fixate on that one number. It's become a measuring stick for retirement success. But the uncomfortable truth, that number, whether it's 500,000 or 5 million, it won't guarantee you happiness. So if money isn't the main driver of retirement happiness, well, the research might surprise you. A 2025 study from a school in Germany, they found that retirement substantially increases life satisfaction for most people. Not surprising. But here's the kicker. The biggest predictors of that happiness were not portfolio size, were not withdrawal rates. They were things like social connection, a sense of purpose, physical health, and feeling like you're contributing to something meaningful. Or how we discuss this with our clients, it's the 3 C's: community, contribution, curiosity. Let me break down the data. According to research from the National Institute of Health, older adults who maintain a sense of purpose and pursue meaningful activities report higher life satisfaction than those who don't, regardless of their financial status. The Harvard Study of Adult Development, this is one of the longest running studies on human happiness, found that strong social ties are the single most important factor in retirement happiness. More important than money, more important than leisure time. And here's yet another stat that floored me. 49% of the happiest retirees prepared for retirement by taking care of their health, but only 7% invested in building their social connections before retiring. Think about that. We spend decades building our 401k, but almost no time building the relationships and sense of purpose that will actually determine whether we enjoy those years. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Gallup did a study in 2024 and found something fascinating. 79% of Americans aged 69 to 80 say they have enough money to live comfortably in retirement. But here's the twist. When those same people were in their 40s and 50s, only about half expected that they would ever have enough. So retirees are doing a lot better financially than they thought they would. That's great news, right? Here's the catch. About 31% of retirees report feeling significant loneliness. And nearly half of dissatisfied retirees say their unhappiness isn't about money. It's actually about social isolation. I see this all the time. People come to me, they've got $2 million saved and they've checked all the boxes, but they're miserable. Why? Because they've spent so much time focused on the accumulation that they forgot about what comes next. They don't have hobbies. Their friendships faded because work took up all their time. They have no sense of what gives their life meaning now that their career is over. It's like spending 30 years building a beautiful sailboat and realizing you have no idea where you want to sail. Let me share a hypothetical scenario that mirrors what I often see with families who find deeper satisfaction in retirement. Imagine a different couple now. So let's call them Tom and Linda. They've retired with about 1.8 million saved. Not a gigantic number, but certainly very solid. But the difference with Tom and Linda, they didn't just plan their finances, they planned their life. They identified what matters most to them. For them, it was spending time with their grandkids, traveling, giving back through charitable work. So we were able to build a spending plan around those values. They set aside money for annual trips with their grandchildren, creating those memories, not just leaving an inheritance, and they allocated funds for their meaningful charitable giving. They joined volunteer organizations where they could contribute their skills. Here's what happened. Tom and Linda spent more than their safe 4% withdrawal rate. But you know what? They're happier than clients I have with twice as much money who are afraid to spend a dime. Why? Because their spending is aligned with their values. Every dollar they spend brings them joy because it's connected to what they care about. Contrast this with another hypothetical. A retired executive with $4 million portfolio who is terrified to spend anything because he's still not sure it's enough. He's healthy, but he won't travel because what if the market crashes while he's away? He won't help his kids because he's still worried that he might run out of money. He's living in a prison of his own making, but it's not about money, it's about mindset. So let's talk about the questions that actually matter. Instead of, can I afford to retire? Ask yourself these. What will I retire to? Not from, to. What will fill your days? What will give you a reason to get out of bed in the morning? What brings me meaning? Is it connection? Is it creativity? Contributing to something bigger than yourself? A combination of all of these? According to the Center for Retirement Research, retirees who engage in purposeful activities like volunteering, hobbies, sometimes even part-time work, they report significantly higher satisfaction than those who don't. Another great question, who are my people? Research from Fidelity found that retirees with stronger social connections have higher life satisfaction than those who are isolated, regardless of their financial situation. Your wealth won't keep you warm at night, but relationships will. Am I taking care of my health? You can have all of the money in the world, but if you're not healthy enough to enjoy it, what is the point? Your body is a vehicle that carries you through retirement. So are you maintaining it? And don't get me wrong, these are not touchy-feely nice to haves. These are the factors that the research shows actually determines whether you'll be happy. All right, so how do you actually do this? Let me give you a simple exercise that you can do this weekend. Step 1, do a values assessment. Just Google personal values list and you'll find dozens. Go through the list and circle every value that resonates with you. Don't overthink it, just circle what speaks to you. Maybe it's family, adventure, learning, faith, creativity, health, contribution, freedom, whatever. Step 2, narrow it down. So go back through your list and just pick your top 10 and rank them. Rank those 10 in order of importance. This is your North Star. Step 3, look at how you're actually spending your time and money right now. Is this aligned with these same values? If freedom is your number one value, for example, but you're working 60 hours a week, there's a disconnect. If family is number 2, but you haven't seen your grandkids in 6 months, there's a disconnect. The goal is not perfection, but the goal is awareness. Because once you're aware of the gap between what you say matters and how you're actually living, you can start making different choices. Step 4, design your spending around what matters. If travel is a top value, budget for it. If giving back matters, build charitable giving into your plan. If time with grandkids lights you up, plan for experiences with them, just not an inheritance they'll get when you're gone. Here's the beautiful thing. When your spending is aligned with your values, you will feel wealthier even if you have less in the bank. And when your spending isn't aligned, you'll feel poor even with millions. It's not about what you make. It's about what you keep and how you use it. If this resonates with you, if you've realized that you've been focused on the wrong things, or you want to make sure your financial plan supports the life you actually want, hit that subscribe button. And if you really want to help the channel grow, please leave a comment about how you plan to align your money and meaning in retirement. And if you'd like to reach out, we'd love to help navigate these deeper questions, not just run another financial simulation. Let's make sure your retirement is as fulfilling as it can be. You can find more information on our website. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.